Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Raymond. One Toyota, 123. Hey, good to see everybody. Debbie Hayek, Fabiana, welcome, Claire, Debbie. Let's see, Philip, Sharon Louise, Stephen Christopher. Thanks for the share. Good evening, folks. Soul 93 Hertz. That's a good name. Let's see. Friend Prish. Good to have you. Hello, Mario Gomez. Good evening. We're doing great here. And we'll be here till it's almost 11:30 Eastern. Good evening, One Toyota, Area 51. Everybody coming in. Fizzy 2. Jay Jens, welcome to the show. Josh Sarah. Eddie, welcome to the show. KK. Let's see. Trin something. Sandy Brewer, welcome. Manana. R. Michaels. Bonnie. All the people coming in here, good evening. Marinade, good evening. Welcome, user 016. Express Rose. Good to have you all with us here this evening on Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. Carol Susie Q, welcome. Bring the volume up here just a little bit. Let's see, where are we? That should be good. BB Love, Cynthia, and everybody coming in here. Tonight we'll be on till about near 1 a.m. in the morning, near 1 a.m. Start a little bit late. Well, this is late night. Hey, peace, love, and light. Joe's Man 11, welcome. Good evening. Just Sarah, good evening. Chris Torres, 521E, welcome to the show. We're just getting started on a Friday night. CC, good to have you with us, CC. Hey, Chris, welcome. Estella, Jimmy, welcome. All these new names, some of the new names here. There's one here that I can't even read. It's all symbols. Hey, CC, everybody coming in here, good evening. Gabe 2316, Johnny Moore 892. Now we're just taking a look at what's going on here. Mandy John Backup, user 897. So welcome. We'd like to try to acknowledge already Bob Sepp. Bob Sepp, welcome. Reef Rhonda. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Tony K. I'm just trying to look at all these names popping in here. Pablo G. Agzilla, welcome. Thanks for the likes. Ricky Serio. Cool Aid 540. Katie, welcome to the show. Heather Hiker. Tammy D. Big Girl Storm, welcome. Mike Michelle, welcome to the show. Things go so fast on the TikTok thing on the screen here. Nate Urel, welcome, Nate. Hornet 7 Blue something, I think it was. Larry, welcome to the show. Larry, welcome to Encounters. Christy, welcome to Encounters. KLM. All these new different names here. I'm CmdrAleon, the man from Mars, 0010110, user 602. Welcome. Julie Trance Grammy. Michigan Beer Taster. R. Thompson 88. Good to have everybody here. Merriweather, welcome to the show. Kim Turner. Danny. Kaylin, thanks for joining us. User 894, thanks for coming in here on Encounters. Johnny, welcome. Annie F72. Jim Sundall, I think, or Sunwall. Sugarcoat It. That's a good name. Hey, hello, Heidi. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. Leanne Myers, welcome to our show. If you're new to the show, I am CmdrAleon. Otis POTUS, that's a good name. 613, welcome to the show. Otis POTUS. Sylvia, welcome to Encounters. This is the actual UFO number one talk show. Good to see you, Danny. Number one UFO talk show on social media. Katie, welcome. I'm CmdrAleon, the man from Mars. I'm also a contactee from the 1960s. And also involved with our coordinates of our C5 group here in New England. I'm sort of like a cosmic book. pretty much. And I've had contacts since my only main visual contact with space people before with my preteens. For those that are coming in here, Julie Trans Grammy, I keep saying hello to the skies, nothing yet. It'll happen. It'll all happen. Everything a good time, you know? Tracy 0506, welcome to the show. Crazy, have her on. Crazy, have her on. You know? All the new people coming in here, welcome. Linda, good to have you with us. Hello, Commander. Hello, Linda. Good to have you with us. Christy, thanks for the likes. All the new people coming in here. You're watching. You're on the show called Encounters. You've heard about the show. We were on this morning. I actually got last night's show, this morning's show, on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. Lisa Bailey, good to have you with us. Let's see, who had a visit? I'm having hopefully Cece back on. She'll talk about her visitation stories tonight. She'll be my first guest. Hey, Victor, thank you for that so much. Are you a contactee? Yes. Back in the 1960s. Oh, thank you for the baseball hat. I happen to like baseball. I don't watch it all the time, but thank you for the hat. Victor, we appreciate the cap. Yeah, I've been to answer the question. I am a contactee. I only had one, what I can remember of all the time was one spaceship saucer type craft when I was a kid. For those that are new here, because I know there's new names here, so I want to give the bio out just briefly. And they were men, women, and children in this flying saucer craft in my cul-de-sac where I lived. And there were about 4 houses in the cul-de-sac, a suburban neighborhood late at night. It was like, actually not late at night because everybody was downstairs. And I got a telepathic message from the people on the ship, the beings. They were human like us, and they didn't look like monsters or all the crazy stuff you see on movies, and they were telepathic. Michelle, Victoria, thank you for the gifts. Thank you. And those people, I call them those people, they said, we're, not from here. Although I have parents and I had a brother back then when I was a kid, they said, you're not from here. You're from the stars. You're from where we are. And I never forgot it. Originally, when it first happened, I thought it was a dream. But, looking back at it all these years, I never, ever forgot the details of the spaceship, what it looked like, and the beings that were looking at me on board the ship in a cul-de-sac in their ship. And they said, you're part of our galactic family. So just to give people a little, for new people here, yes, I am a contactee. Chrissy from the block, welcome to the show. I speak for the trees. Hey, people are reporting seeing a UFO in DFW and Florida just now. Interesting to see if anybody records it. And hopefully we'll have James here, my co-host. He lives in Florida. So something that's going on right now. Where'd you hear the story about Florida UFOs at DFW and in Florida? DFW is in Washington and in Florida right now. So something's going on. And we appreciate everyone subscribing to our subscription thing. If you see a star, you can subscribe for a month, 2 months, to 29 of 100 subscribers. That money's going towards night vision equipment. So please subscribe if you wish to. And gifting is always good. Gloria, welcome. Josh, Dayton. DFW in Dallas, Fort Worth. Oh, DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth. Oh, that's right. Dallas, Fort Worth. If anyone has any information on that, when did the sighting happen? I speak for trees. When did that happen? I'm very curious. Glenn Muir, welcome to the show. Hey, thank you, Victor. So when did that DFW thing and Florida thing happen? Today? 1 hour ago. Where's that coming from? Can you tell us where that's coming from? I'm hoping some people at the DFW area in Florida, people out in Florida, SpaceX launch, some have videos on TikTok. Oh, it's a X launch. Okay, that will do it. They're looking at something. They think it's a spaceship, but it's a SpaceX launch. That gets very confusing. Yeah, there are scheduled SpaceX launches. Yes, it looks like a bubble with a light in it. Yeah, it's SpaceX. Yeah, yep. That gets mistaken for extraterrestrial craft. Robin, thanks for joining us. But yeah, that would be a SpaceX launch. I'm sure it'll be seen by multiple areas. I was contacted, Victoria Bowers, when I was a kid, preteens. I don't remember the exact age. It was in the 1960s. And I went upstairs, Victoria, from the downstairs of the two-level house. My brother, my mother, and father at the time were downstairs. I had this urge to go upstairs. I didn't even know why I was going upstairs. I just went upstairs past my room. My brother's room was right next to my room. Went to his window, which was closed. There was like a wooden blind. I opened it, and there was a spaceship there, hovering in the cul-de-sac with like a fog around it. And I was looking at it and just was like hypnotized. And there were men, women, and children in what we call light blue, kind of, I think, glitter, for lack of a better term, light blue spacesuits. And they all looked beautiful, the people on board the ship. And they told me I didn't come from Earth, that I had come from somewhere else, that I came from the stars. Later on, I realized I came from Mars. But they said I came from the stars. You know, it could have been, but I'm also from Mars. There's about 10 or 15 million people on Mars. So that's a little bit of my background. How did you come from Mars? Just like any human being, I chose to come here. It was a mission. I worked with a thing called Ashtar Galactic Command, or Ashtar Command, before there was any internet or cell phones. And I've been a telepathic communicator pretty much most of my adult life when I figured out things. I didn't know I had all these abilities or whatever it was, but I finally figured it out. Yeah, a starseed. That'd be correct. So my definition of starseed is I'm born here. I don't know if I chose my parents or whether it was preordained or whatever it was. I have no idea. But the family I came into, I was different than the rest of them. But I didn't know all these abilities that I started having until I was older. And when I met the space people, they told me I wasn't from here. And they said, you are from the stars. You're part of our family. Now, when they said family, I understand what that meant. So now, looking back, I am very much comfortable in this human form. Also, a Christed conscious being. There's a lot of people that understand what that means. Christ consciousness doesn't mean earth-based religion. It means we are consciously Christed beings of light, if that makes any sense to anybody. Sandy, Sean, welcome to the show. Adebe, welcome. Jan, welcome to our show Encounters. How were you different? So that great question, Victoria. Different? I never understood, even my friends at the time that were my friends as a kid. I actually spurred it out to them one day. We're playing stickball. Great question. And I said to them, I'm from Mars. All of a sudden, I spouted out of my mouth, I'm from Mars. For no reason. Here's a kid playing with other kids when he's a kid, and he says, oh, I'm not from here, I'm from Mars. I don't know how I said it as a kid, but, they were not happy about it. They were basically angry and upset. I don't know how the friendship lasted for the period it did, but it definitely was interesting. I also went through regular normal life. I did everything everybody else did. I'm, normal kid having a normal life. Yeah, they didn't understand my frequency. I don't think I even knew when I was a kid saying I'm from Mars. I just spurted it out one day. It's like almost another me instead of just the regular human speaking. But now, way different, you know. There are a lot of starseed on the planet, a lot of people that remember who they are, where they're from. We have people in our audience here who know where they're from. They understand where they're from. Hand hearts. Thank you for the hand heart. And so for me, I value the knowledge that has been given to me when I came here. I didn't know that I was going to be doing this. When I got older, I didn't know there was a mission. I didn't know there were, spaceships with people from other planets. As a kid, I started to realize that, but I sort of kept it underground, like you didn't talk about it. But now I do. Shayla, hi from Florida. Thanks, Shayla Johnson. Welcome to the show. Cece Vega. And we got Cece back on. She was on this morning. Anna, yes, you can develop your remembrance of who you are. And it means that you just have to meditate. You get into a meditative state and you allow yourself to let go of your thoughts. And usually those thoughts are earth-based, in terms of your thoughts, your mental state, your brain, so to speak. When you let go of your thoughts in meditation, that's how you really connect. Nothing around you. You don't have to think about earth-based things, how your day went. Yeah, it's all Victor in a meditation. It's a meditation that's more specific to a person where they actually want to remember things about who they really are. Besides having biological parents, you have family out there in space that you probably don't even know about. Yeah, without it, you always have questions. Yes. Writer Boy, welcome to the show. One Lighthouse member, welcome to the show. Ah, I do, says Anna. GAF, thank you. All the people liking the show. Shell, Love Art Entertainment, welcome. GFA, Matt Like, welcome to our show. People like you, very peaceful. They only help humanity. You feel you're in mission. Yes, exactly. Frequency up to Christ consciousness level. Yes, Julie is absolutely correct. Brenda Rose, welcome to our show. And it really is Brandy Brown, welcome. This is Encounters UFO talk show here on TikTok, the #1 talk show here on social media. I'm CmdrAleon, your host. Dan, thank you for the roses. Hopefully my co-host James will be on tonight, unless he's been taken on a spaceship. Nikita, welcome to the show. Diane, Olivia, thanks for those roses. All my family has had encounters, all except me. Interesting, Anna. Were you visited by Grays? No, the Grays are actually called the Zeta. I was visited by my preteens, by men, women, and children in a spaceship. Now, as far as I know, they never physically came out of the ship or somehow were in my house, but I know I just saw the spaceship. I went upstairs and it was right there, and it was hovering right near ground level. Went backstairs to try to get everybody to come up. Nobody came up. Went back upstairs, opened the blinds. They were still there. And I felt such peace and such love from them. Like I said, they were tall. The men and women, the adults were tall. The children were normal children's size. And they just sent me a lot of telepathic communications. My dad has seen ships in Ohio. So we're going to bring CC on here. She'll be my first guest. I had her on this morning. Oh, Down the Rabbit Hole is here. Be on here too. This is a late night show. It's called Encounters. We talk about UFOs, ET visitations, and disclosure, the three major things. And we have James on here right now. Hopefully he'll be able to come out of a rabbit hole onto a TV screen. So good evening, James. He should be here, unless he's sleeping. He could be sleeping as he requested to go on and he fell asleep in front of the camera. So we'll see. Well, Commander, TikTok just asked me.
Right with you. I'll be right with you.
Oh, it's okay, Jake. That's weird. TikTok just asked you if my live stream was appropriate, then it kicked me out. That's weird. How would my live stream not be appropriate? Unless the government is afraid of the commander. Am I that influential that the algorithm is asking if it's appropriate for you to be here? I think so. It's appropriate algorithm. Waddle 1771. They are afraid. Well, that's pretty weird. It's an 18 or older thing. Okay, that might be it. Okay. Yeah, I do know the algorithm is about 18 or older, so I'm sure you're over 18. We're a threat to them, Commander. Well, I asked the universe to protect me, to protect my life, you know. Oh, you're good. You're 23 years old. You know, if you have, you know, they might think you're older. I mean, they might think you're younger, but you're older. I meant older, not younger. Nadine, welcome to the show. Tug, good to have you with us. Boo Boo. Sherry Wallace, good to have you with us. TikTok doesn't like truth much. Well, I just always pray that they leave my live alone, you know, because I know I'm sharing information and the cosmic truth. Ground Crew Brad, welcome. Pulsar, welcome to the show, you know, and James will be here in a little bit. I think it's Jeremy Valdez, welcome to the show. Steve Bohr, good to see you. And we like to acknowledge people if we can. If we don't acknowledge you directly, Music Child, welcome to the show. Nothing can control us. That's right. Yes, we will protect you in light and truth. Thank you. Late Freight Trucker, good to have you with us. Good evening. Romeo, hi. Judy M, 177. Denise Hughes. A lot of people are finding this show because this is the real deal, you know? And it's not a matter of having a million people watching this, although I'd like to reach 700-800 people, but it'll get there. Who gets to see the eclipse tomorrow? I don't know. We're going to have some cloudy weather in Connecticut again. It might clear up, maybe. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. You know, no fluff here on my live. You know, we just bring the information to you. You know, we want people to know the cosmic reality. We want people, I mean, if it was just me talking without any guests, I can talk forever. But I like interviewing people. So, you know, I will add things in about me if you ask me a question. I'm going to bring Grace on here too. We're going to bring CC on here. CC is going to be our first guest. Grace is at 731 followers, folks. I can't wait to get her on with her face because we know Grace. Grace is with our Ashtar group. And I'm going to get CC on here. CC is in Florida. And she was a great guest this morning. She has a lot that she hasn't shared yet. And she's coming on. We welcome CC. Grace, good evening.
Hello.
Good to have you with us. We're going to bring CC
Hey.
on. CC's in Florida, and she's a great person. We had a great conversation with her this morning, just getting at the tip of the iceberg. She's a contactee for sure. And also we have a Down Rabbit Hole. He'll be on in a little bit. And CC, welcome again to the show. Thanks for coming back on for my evening show.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good. And CC is from Florida, and we had not enough time to get into her stories, but she's also what we call contacting. Now, contactees are people that are having positive experiences. And can you give people a brief bio about yourself? And also, we'd love to hear your stories about your physical contact with the space people.
Well, I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio, but I've
Originally.
lived in Florida. Yeah. I've lived in Florida for like 33 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when did you start having contact?
That was June 29th of 2021.
Wow, okay, that's quite a few years. And how did it start? What precipitated it to occur?
Oh, this might sound funny, but I was kind of obsessed with watching stuff about UFOs for a couple months, and then I went
Hmm.
out and started seeing them.
Hmm. So I mean, obviously it was a two-way communication. You were seeing them, and evidently they were noticing you for some reason, and that precipitated contact. And when did the physical contact occur with the space people. And do you remember where they're from or who they were?
You mean with the Palladium being? I
Yes,
didn't have any
yes.
physical. Uh,
It was all visual.
it was yeah, it was just visual. Oh, I had a
Mm-hmm.
dream.
Oh yeah,
Um,
tell everybody about the dream. That was interesting.
um, I don't really remember. I didn't really write it down. I
Okay.
just remember a tall blonde. I want to say he was Palladian man.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's right.
I feel like he's probably one of my uh guiders or
And as I remember, I think he was standing behind you
in the video, yeah.
in the video. Yeah, interesting. So when you had that dream of that Palladian being, that was really, they were telling you in the dream, hey, here we are. This is me. I'm one of the beings. I'm one of the Palladians. And that was, something beautiful when you shared that. So you've been having visual sightings for all these years. So how many years have you been seeing the spaceships, the Palladian spaceships?
Um, yeah, I've been seeing the ship since 2000, June 29th of 2021.
Hmm. Have they, like, when I have my telepathic communications, thank you, Victor, with the space people, which is Kadar Manka, my spaceship, not a spaceship contact, but yeah, he's on a spaceship. Kadar Manka, I telepathically communicate for him for many years before the internet. Um, do they communicate or say anything, or does the space person speak to you like telepathically, like in your consciousness?
Um, no.
No.
I think I'm
Okay.
too clogged up right now to receive anything. I,
Wow.
uh,
So, would you like to be able to communicate with them? I'm thinking they want to communicate. Well, you've seen their ships. They're trying to let you know they're always there. There's got to be something more they want just to show you a ship.
yes.
Do
Yeah, I
you
would
feel
like
that?
to.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, definitely.
And do you do any focus or meditation on that, or no?
No,
Not really.
not really. Yeah, I guess I need to. Huh?
Yeah. If you allow yourself to meditate, this is just a suggestion, but if you find some time to just, even if it's like once a week, whenever you want to do it, put yourself in a state of clearing your mind out of whatever you're doing during the day or whatever you're thinking about, and focus on the time when you see the spaceships. Focus on the man that was the Palladian being, and say, I'm ready to communicate with you. I see your ships since so and so. I'm ready to make contact with you, the Palladians,
Yeah, I was
specifically.
in someone's live and they said that, they were trying to send me a message.
Yeah, I believe that. So you can receive the message if you allow yourself to focus and meditate. So if you focus and meditate, they probably have more than one message for you. But I think right at this point in your life, I would focus on them in terms of not just seeing their ships. They're showing their ships for a reason to you. They do want to communicate with you. But so far, it's been the ships. So if you take a step, a leap forward and meditate, you can have a mental state of communications with them, or what we call a conscious state of communications. And it
Oh,
takes time.
I did have another dream too that I was in a ship with a bunch of different light beings surrounding me.
Really? Tell us about that
Yeah.
dream.
I I just remember being in the ship. It was very bright. Um and it just everyone looked very bright around me. But they were all
Everyone,
shaped differently.
all shaped
I,
different. Interesting.
yeah. I don't know.
Hmm. And were they different? I mean, you say they all look different. Did they were humanoid, not human, or what? But they were all extremely bright. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it was just maybe inside the ship was so bright that they looked very bright. I'm not sure.
Okay. So it sounds to me that the ship was lit up with a lot of energy, correct?
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Interesting,
know.
interesting. And do you remember in the dream, were they all of one, were they men and women, or were they both, or what did you see?
I couldn't say. I didn't see any.
Hmm,
They, yeah, no gender.
no gender. Okay, that's fair enough. Well, I think that if you meditate, um, and use the techniques of meditation with a little bit of space music, you can use ambient meditation music. You can use it on Alexa app, or you can, whatever, if you have Alexa or on YouTube, whatever. There's tons of really vibrationally high music, just instrumental. You can put it on
Okay.
low, focus on them, take some deep breaths. Just focus on what you remember of them and say, I'm ready to communicate with you. And if you listen, they will send a message to you. It'll be a telepathic message. And once
Right.
you get that message, you'll have a better understanding. They're probably, what I'm getting is they have information about your connections to the stars, your connections to the galactic, shall we say. And once you are willing to do that, because you have that energy that is so open that they know you're ready for it. You just haven't taken the time to do it. So this is a teachable moment, really, CC, to take time for yourself in this crazy world we live in, and do some meditation, focus, and let us know what happens. Let us know what the results are of that. I think you're going to have some very interesting things, and also you can have physical contact directly with them. They can actually land somewhere, knock on your door, and say they're from the Pleiades star system, and you'll know it. They'll be very, very somewhat tall, men and women. And if you decide to, when you get comfortable enough, to let them come to you on a physical level, they will physically come, not in a dream state. They will actually come in a direct physical state. Like if any one of us was knocking your door and said, "Hi, here we are," that's the way they
Wow.
would actually do it. So yeah.
I would love to get to that moment.
Well, you can. Are you willing to do the meditation to do that?
It's hard for me to find places to meditate, but yeah, I will try to
Well,
work on.
yeah. I mean, you're in Florida. Is it mostly built up where you are?
Um, yeah,
It is. Do you have like an empty space in your house or a room that you can use for meditation or turn into a meditation space?
definitely not in my house, but I
Yeah.
I I normally go to the park. Sometimes I can. There'll be nobody there.
Yeah.
It's
You can.
where there's water.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the park is a good place. The park is a perfect place. You find a place at the park that you feel happy with and go there. Find a place where you can just be by yourself and do the focus. They'll communicate with you, you know, they will.
Just take your
And
time a little bit.
yeah, take your time.
Okay. Thank you,
Hello,
guys.
Grace,
CC.
Grace, would you like to say anything regarding that?
Hey, yes. Hi, Cece.
Hello.
Come in. So good to have you in the room with us.
Thank you.
So you sound like you have it. You understand the formula, and you're not really
Yeah.
sure, but you understand it.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you do your meditation, you have to ask Source to show you what that formula looks like so you can help everybody else.
Okay.
How's that sound? Cool, right?
Yeah.
And then you should write it down in a journal so then you can come back in the room and tell us
Yes.
what you get. So where are you from? Where are you located?
I'm in Florida, but I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, you're in Florida. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Florida's hot right now.
Yeah, I'm next to the two biggest military bases in the United States.
Okay. All right. Wow. So you must, yeah. Yeah, it's super hot in Florida right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
And
not hot in
I don't
Florida. It's
mean the temperature
chilly.
either. I'm not talking about the temperature. I know
I
it gets
know.
pretty hot in
Yeah,
Florida.
you're in the Pensacola area.
I am, yes, about an hour away from Pensacola.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of activity up that way.
Yeah, Florida has a lot
Yeah.
of spaceship activity going on besides NASA and all these other things around that
Grace, are you
state.
making tea?
Yes, you heard that?
I know what the whistle of a teapot sounds like.
I didn't think you'd hear it. I kind of tried to shut it off quickly. Yeah, it's freezing up here.
It is cold in Connecticut today or tonight. You know, we're
What?
having cold weather in the 40s.
Yeah, it
I would
actually
love to have some cooler
dropped.
weather.
Guys, I'm going to
What's he
get
saying?
activity tonight on the show. I am
Well,
going
listen,
to
there's
get
been a lot going
activity
on.
tonight on the show.
Listen, I think there's a lot going on in the skies tonight because Rich and I were down in Mystic and it was super dark down there. We had dinner with some family and I saw something floating around up there. It was cloaking itself. I know for sure there was something up there. And Venus is very, very strong in the sky. You can see Venus now, it's visible.
Hmm.
And then today I also saw those clouds again above EB.
Wow.
Those traveling clouds. Yeah, they were right above the plant. In the same, in a little bit of a different formation, but it was pretty incredible.
Hmm.
I feel like there's so much happening right now, and now with the eclipse, a lot of people are preparing for that. I know somebody mentioned in the room and asked about where you can see the eclipse, and I know there are only a handful of states in the United States that you can visibly see it
Yeah,
and witness the ring of fire, but I know that's going to happen at 9:15 tomorrow morning.
right. I don't think we'll see it in Connecticut. It's going to be kind of weird weather.
Oh, we're getting crummy weather again tomorrow. One.
In the morning, I think it's going to clear up. I don't know that for a fact. But I think the weather will be not like it was last weekend so much. But it will, well, we'll find out in the morning what happens.
Funny, Steve Borg says, I'm in Connecticut outside with a blanket and binoculars.
Oh, good, Steve.
That's
You
That's
know?
that's a true believer right there. He's
that's
waiting for it.
cool. Yeah, because you know what, Steve, it's such a clear sky out tonight. It's fabulous for viewing.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
clear sky too.
Yeah,
Yeah?
the thing with the ring around it, Diane, I can't even speak English now. Diane, who's in Texas, that ring around the ship was a SpaceX launch. People were seeing it in Texas and Florida. It was SpaceX.
Yeah, the Falcon. It was the Falcon X rocket.
Yeah, people were thinking it was
Oh,
a UFO or something. No, it's
But
SpaceX.
I want to mention something. Now we've been watching rockets go up to space since the '60s. Why
mhm.
is it now that? And maybe Shai could explain this when we get her on.
Yeah.
Maybe why is it now that when rockets are going up into space, it looks like it's going through a liquid, or it looks like it's releasing like a plasma or something.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's the new technology, but like when I'm in Florida, I could see these things launching off every 3 or 4 days. There's something launching from Cape
Yeah.
Canaveral. You could see it, and yeah, when it gets to a certain point in the sky, it looks like it's going through, like rippling through a liquid. But it
Yeah.
didn't,
Mm.
rockets didn't look like that 20 years ago.
Yeah,
No, they
no,
didn't.
I've seen that. I know what you're
It's
talking
pretty
about.
weird. Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Yeah, that's got to be a new technology or a new way that it, you know, who knows if
Yeah,
it's
I'm
the
thinking maybe
fuel.
the propulsion.
Yeah, that was the first word that came to mind was propulsion. And,
Hmm.
I loved Cape Canaveral. I've been there a couple of times. That's such a cool space to visit.
Hmm. I've
Yeah,
never
it's
seen any of those
huge.
places.
Oh, it's huge when you look at the scale of like where the facility is and where the rocket launch area is. It's like a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, we
Hmm.
got to go into like where they had the rocket launches when we were kids. We went way, way back in the day when they were launching those big monsters, the enormous, like they looked like the size of scrapers in New York City.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Jake,
sure if that stuff even exists now.
yeah. Jake says he's going to Cape Canaveral in December. That should be fun.
Yeah,
Welcome, everybody.
that's a cool time. That's a great
Yeah.
time.
You're watching Encounters tonight, late night, till about 1 a.m. Eastern. And like anything else, we have Cece as our guest. We have Down the Rabbit Hole, our co-host, and Grace, our spiritual advisor, to help people with their visitation stories if they have any questions. If you'd like to come on here and be a guest, this is Encounters. This is the #1 UFO talk show on social media. So welcome to the show. I know there are people out here that have stories to tell. I always know a lot of people are very quiet. They're just kind of feeling out the show to see what kind of show it is. So now you know this is a UFO talk show.
Yeah,
I'm
we
also
keep it
hosting
drama
WBS News
free,
radio show too on Sunday morning.
and sucker free.
Indigo, they are
So,
powerful
Commander,
divine. Yes, go ahead.
are you ready to hear my CE5 story from this
Oh
week?
yeah, that's right. You have a C5 story to share with our audience.
I didn't get the experience that I wanted. So I was down in South Central Florida, and I decided to. It was after one of your shows. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. And I said I'm gonna go out in the car and do a CE5. So I grabbed my co-host and I said, "Come on, we're going to find some ETs." Now she has never heard CE5 tones or anything like that before. So wait, I drive for like 35, 45 minutes to the middle of nowhere. I mean, we didn't see cars for miles. And I
You
pull
were
over
nowhere.
to the side of the road. I open up all the windows. I get my flashlight out. I got the CE5 attached to the car stereo. So I got all my windows open, the sunroof open, and I'm blaring the doo 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 doo. I'm blaring the tones out the window, and she's freaking out. And she's like, "You don't know what those tones are doing. You don't know what kind of entity you're bringing in here." And, oh my God, guys! Right now, I'm turning on my camera. So, maybe tell the story. This light just disappeared in the sky. Put me on the big screen.
Oh yeah, let me be on the big screen. Hold on a minute.
That's pretty
We're
cool.
I'm
So,
at the spaceship controls here. You're
so
now in the second.
So,
Here we go. There you
so
go.
I'm starting to do the. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn my camera.
you are
He's
cracking me
he's
up. That
he's
is
turning
cool.
his camera.
I'm
I'm on
turning. I'm
spaceship
turning the
control
camera.
here,
Okay.
and that's James, my co-host, and he is now on the big screen.
I'm trying. I'm trying to keep the house out of the view.
And
Oh,
what is that?
can't,
Is that a
can't see
star?
it. That's a star that I'm showing, but there was a light like right underneath it, and I thought it was a star, and I was talking to you guys, and then poof, it just disappeared.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to reappear.
Okay.
So while you're waiting,
So
Indigo
while I'm
said
waiting,
this.
So we got the CE5 going.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
We're we're out in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden, we see headlights coming down the road and so the road was so long and flat that we could see for miles. So we see these headlights coming, and I'm like, what the hell? Who the hell is out here 1 o'clock in the morning in the middle of
1 a.m.
nowhere?
in the middle of nowhere.
And all of a sudden, the car's getting closer. Now I've got the car in gear, and I'm just waiting. As the car comes closer, it's a big white van with blacked out windows, and it just stopped right next to us. As soon as it stopped, I hit the gas and got the hell out of there. My co-host was cursing me up and down. You're gonna get us killed out here. You don't know who you're messing with. The government's already watching you guys. Oh gosh, she was going off. She was not having any of
She
it. And
said
I'm
that.
not gonna lie, it was pretty freaky. It was pretty scary because we were in the middle of nowhere, um, and it just
Wow.
came. This van, and it looked like the creepy old like
Yeah,
white box van,
yeah,
like one of those like an old surveillance looking van.
yeah.
Oh.
Did it have any license plates? I don't know. Any license
Well, no,
plate
it
on it?
was facing. It was coming towards me. So I'm thinking it's just gonna drive by, and as soon as like the back of his van got to the back of my car, he stopped the car. He stopped his van, and I just hit the gas and went.
Wow.
Yeah. How many people you think were in the van?
I couldn't even see the driver. The windows were blacked out on the
Really?
side. The whole side was solid, and the back doors were solid. There were no windows other than
Really?
the driver's window. Yeah, it was like fully. Yeah, the only windows were the two front windows and the windshield.
Oh, that's
That was pretty.
creepy.
That's pretty bizarre. It sounds to me. I said this earlier to you as I thought about it, that it probably is a government van, like some sort of government. Why
I
would something
don't
like that
know.
come out in the middle of
That or it was
nowhere?
some, or that or it was in some backwoods dumping ground, and I just happened to be in their area
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it was a
Oh,
dumping
because they
ground. I
do
think
find a
there's
lot of they
something.
do find a lot of bodies out in those orange groves out there where I was.
oh my
Oh, they do?
gosh. Whew.
Okay, who knows? I mean, I have no idea. The weird part
So,
of it is that the windows were all darked out, so you can't see the inside of the van. And then it
oh,
Yeah,
stops.
that
It
yeah,
goes
was,
faster.
that
It
was the
stops.
freaky part because now listen, I've got the flashlight that I use for the CE5s.
Hmm.
So that this thing, when you shoot it up into the air, it's like a spotlight.
Yeah,
So I had the thing shining out the window as I was driving, and I couldn't see as it was passing me. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna blind this guy because he's got his high beams on. He don't know that I got this light. I'm gonna blind him." And as soon as maybe he hit the brakes because I had the light pointed at him.
maybe.
yeah. Holy cow. So
Either
I
way,
got
it
to
was
tell
just it
you
was
this.
just so weird.
That
It
is
was just so weird how it was in the middle
crazy.
of nowhere.
So what made you drive there? You just it was like
Because I
instinctual
was
to
out in
drive
the
there.
Well,
Hmm.
because I wanted to get somewhere where it was isolated.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody is outside right now, I want you. If anybody's can see Orion, the constellation,
I
Hmm.
can see it
tell
in your view. I can see
It's
it.
too cold for me to go
is the
outside.
middle star flickering a little off, like different than normal? And look directly to the south, the bright one on the leg end. It
Hmm.
looks like it's blipping way, way more than it usually does.
Beetlejuice. It's the one on
Beetlejuice.
the corner. Yeah,
Oh, the star. Yeah,
yeah.
that is. Cece just said what it is, James.
Yeah, I'm watching because that's right where, right in that direction is where the light disappeared.
Mm,
And,
And that's the
but
name
the
of the
middle,
star?
well, the middle, yeah,
Yeah.
Betelgeuse is the name of the star, but in the middle of Orion's belt, the middle,
Oh.
star gave off just like a bright flash.
hmm.
Hmm.
That is interesting. Welcome, everybody. This is Encounters. We got James, our host, on the big screen, looking for spaceships where he is in Florida. Jake says that Betelgeuse is supposed to go
The
supernova.
military base is that direction too.
So a few people said,
So,
Jake and a few other people said that Betelgeuse is supposed to go supernova.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
oh wow, well, if you guys go out there and look at it, it's flashing.
Oh,
Like it
that's
yeah.
looks like
awesome.
it's blip, 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 blip.
So Rabbit, so listen to this, James. Indigo said about the rockets. You asked about the rockets and why they look
Uh,
like they're in like this plasma. He
yeah.
said that they're powered by thermoelectric generators and they turn heat
Oh.
into electricity.
Oh.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's Elon Musk for you.
Oh yeah, big time. That's, Tesla. That's the Tesla thing.
UFO UAP Sky Scanner says, I just recorded something. I'm not sure what he recorded. What did you just record?
Hey, you can take me
Hopefully
off the
not
big
the,
screen because I think I scared him away.
you scared the space. Well, all you have to do is just just like go within and ask them to come back.
Hey, come back, guys. I'm here with the commander. I got Grace. I got everybody on. We're just hanging out. We just want contact. We just want to be able to say hello. I've got some
Yeah,
candy.
Shelley Stardust is saying it already went supernova. We just won't see it happen for millions of years. I think it was due to the speed of light. Interesting. It goes off and
Oh.
on. UFO UAP Sky Scanner. Reading people's notes here. The light of Betelgeuse takes 7,100 years to get to us. Interesting. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the show. Say we have crystals. Donna Gems. Are all Palladians blonde?
No.
Donna Gems, no, I don't think they are. I think they're different. Nisi, can you provide some information history about the Ebens and Greys? I don't know too much about their history, to be honest with you. The Zeta. I do know that many of the Zeta, different depending who they are, they basically lost a lot of their human form because of what happened on their planetary systems. I know a lot about that aspect, is that they were just like us. They still have human form, but they also had problems. They became to the point of their technology taking over, and they became less human in form because of that. They went more into all these other areas, and they became less. They did things that didn't help their planet. They had to go within their planets to live, and they lost a lot of their human genetics, what we call Zeta. There are some
And
Zeta that are men and
I've
women, and
heard
they still have
people
form, but not like us.
I've heard people say that the Zetas, um, that something happened a long time ago where they kind of, I don't want to say lost their enlightenment or lost their souls, but their contact to source isn't as cosmic as, let's say like the Palladians or someone like that.
Yeah, they lost a little bit, James, of their uh, connection to source. They were so involved in their technical advancements that they forgot who they were. That became more important to them, and therefore they used so much technology they ended up losing a good portion of who they were in a human form. Um, and there's different zetas. So that's why even though they have the ability to come to Earth, go back and forth where they are, they don't have the advancements spiritually to go beyond where they are, because they actually put themselves in a situation where they became too advanced technically, but they didn't keep the spiritual connection, to the Creator, and that was a big problem for them.
And they also, compared to other ETs, the Greys have more of a governmental hierarchical system within their how they operate.
Yeah,
Like
there was a
they do
documentary
have a
about
class
them.
system.
Yeah, there was a documentary about what happened to their civilization. I don't remember where I saw it. It was a while ago, but they had beautiful cities. They had advancements, and they basically went too far in terms of staying with the human emotion. They were ridding themselves of the emotion of humanity, of being human, having a sense of understanding that way, and they became more or less who they are today. So it's very interesting. Someone said, no, Liz, we don't have to worry about us becoming like that. We are going into a different state of consciousness. We as humans will be more human, and in a more spiritual, cosmic level, will be always connected to Source, always connected to the Creator, just like the Palladians and other star beings. We are actually going in the opposite direction. We're not, believe it or not, we will be keeping our human form.
I just shared the live to see if Shy is on. I talked to her earlier today,
Yeah.
but she was in transit.
Yeah, maybe if she comes on, we'll get some information. We know that she's going to eventually come on. She's been really busy traveling in her new job. So, because they teleported so many times, the radiation made their women infertile. So they created they created something.
Oh,
They
that's a
created,
very good observation.
Wait, can you repeat that, Commander? What did you just
yeah,
say about that?
Indigo says because they teleported so many times, the radiation made their women infertile, so they created and I'm trying to wait for the rest of the answer. Can you finish the sentence? They created what?
Indigo, come on. You better come on online and talk to us.
Let
Yeah,
me see.
come on
We'll
up
get
in the
Indigo on
room.
here.
The key, I was
I
listening to an.
feel like I'm waiting for a telegram in the 1940s here.
Indigo's invited to come on here on audio. He or she can be more expansive about what happened with the Zeta because they tell here. Okay, maybe now we're going to have a good conversation here. Indigo, welcome to the show. I was very much listening to your story there. I created and then there was nothing left. So welcome to the show. So you have some knowledge of the Zeta, and we want to welcome you to the show. I'm CmdrAleon, the host. We have James here, my co-host, CC, another guest, and we have Grace, who is our spiritual advisor. And so welcome.
Hello.
Are you there?
Yes. Can
Oh,
everybody
there
hear
you go.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Tell us about that. I thought that was interesting.
Uh,
Apparently, you have some understanding of that. So let our listeners, our viewers know why my cat is now mowing while I'm on the air here. Tell us a little bit about that.
all right. So these beings, and they live in a different, like basically it's like our Earth, but it's a different world, like in a completely different dimension. And they destroyed their world with technology, and what they did was they created these beings called the Greys, which are the ones that you see in this reality, that are small, and they have the spacecrafts, and they can basically teleport people through walls, and they have highly advanced technology because they're basically like the worker bees of the original Zeta Reticuli beings, that they created them because they can't really stay in this form, in this reality, too long, because their bodies can't handle the densities. So they created the Greys to basically come here to Earth and gather viable human DNA, and that's what the whole hybridization program was about that our government helped them do, where they would this is what people are told anyway, is what happens is before they are born into this lifetime, they made a deal with these beings to have this I guess you would say, to have this to help them in their hybridization program. So there's these women that
I've
have,
heard of this.
yeah, so they've been abducted, and the reason why they do this, I they've cloned themselves so many times, and their women can't reproduce anymore, so that's why they came here to make a new hybrid baby or race of beings, so their race doesn't die out.
Yeah. How did you learn about this? You sound like you're a young person. How did you learn about this?
Mainly from a bunch of different resources, like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Linda
Molten Howell?
Yeah, that
I know
her.
her. I met her many years ago at a UFO conference. I know her. Yep.
Yeah, and basically just I've done a lot of research,
Mm-hmm.
and
No, that's good.
I've
Yeah,
seen
go ahead.
this psychiatrist. I watched him. He said that he interviewed over 150 women that have had the same exact abduction stories, and when they take the women, or they impregnate the women and they carry them for 6 months, and then 6 months later they abduct the woman again and they extract the baby, and then they put the babies in jars, and they grow the rest of the term on the ship. And this is why they needed all of the cows, is because the there was an enzyme inside. That's why they were killing all the cows or whatever, the mutilations that you were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is because they needed an enzyme that the cows had to keep the babies alive on the ships.
Interesting.
I've heard that
Now,
one too. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of these stories from different
Yep.
places too.
And Shai even touched on that when she said that, on the videos where she saw of them working on these Zetas, that the bodies were almost synthetic and silicone based.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
And that corroborates with stories we've heard of, that work. Even before Indigo came on, I said they have a class system and they have like the worker bees, and that is, we've heard many encounter stories with the Greys where um, the abductees are telepathically communicated, and they could sense the worker bees getting orders and direction from their higher ups.
yeah. Yeah, I've heard stories. Some of it also, I've heard that our government is involved also with the cattle mutilations, that it's not just what you just mentioned. So I've heard about that, Indigo, is that we have that going on. Let's see. Romeo wants to join us too. Let me see. Whoops. Where's Romeo?
Have you
I've
ever
heard
heard, Commander, have you ever heard of Paul Wallace?
who is it now?
Paul Wallace?
I don't think so. Who's that?
He's a gentleman from, I believe he lives in Australia. He's an author, researcher, and speaker.
Yeah.
He's written quite a few books, but I'm listening to one of his books, Audible, called from Eden.
Hmm.
It's an incredible book.
Really? And what is it about?
Well, he talks about, the creation in the beginning, and he's done so much research regarding clues in the Bible that point to our creation story,
Yeah.
Genesis, and Today, the portion that I was listening to was fascinating about the Neanderthal and how Neanderthal were like actively, first of all, they were shown to be, the way that they were portrayed was really not correct. They were much more humanistic and human looking
Yeah.
than originally portrayed. And then he goes on to talk about how all of a sudden one day a more advanced species showed up that looked more human-esque and
Oh,
just completely took over that they were like annihilated after that.
really?
So it was as if they kind of like zapped into zapped through the dimension into onto our planet. It's a fascinating book. He's
Hmm.
super interesting. Yeah,
So they actually, this other advanced race came in, saw the other humans, and based on what his research says, if it were to be true, that they were basically taken out by this other group.
yeah, they ran away into the hills because they were not prepared for their entry, and they ran into the mountains and they basically just froze to death, or they starved to death because they weren't prepared.
Hmm.
So it was like a new
That.
race just came in.
Yeah. So it looks like, well, the planet's billions of years old. The Earth, when we think about our Earth, and people don't realize that we don't think how old it is, but it's billions of years old. And in that time, there have been so many civilizations that have come to Earth from other places. Can you imagine how many galactic civilizations have come here for whatever reason? You know, not to mention we have the Hollow Earth, which is the Agartha network, and we have all these advanced civilizations living within our own Earth. Yet on the surface, it's the flip side. Like we're not even there.
We're like a
But on
third
the inner
world
Earth,
country.
yeah, on the inner
Yeah.
Earth, all the beings of light, the cosmic beings of light, live in the inner Earth, a hollow Earth. That's where they live. And they come and go off this planet all the time. That's why you see them coming out of the oceans, the seas, out of mountains. There was a situation, the volcano in Mexico, the main volcano that has a webcam that is viewing the volcano, showed all these ships coming out of it. These flying saucers are coming out of the volcano in this one region of Mexico. It was like in the last 48 hours, I think it was, if I'm correct.
Wow.
And so it's an entrance point, even though it's a volcano that's active. There have been many, many sightings of these UAPs or UFOs coming out of the volcano and going into it. It's nothing you can fake, because they have a state webcam in Mexico at all the volcanoes in Mexico. They have these web cameras that focus on the volcanoes, and people have recorded UFOs and UAPs or whatever going in and out of this volcano. It goes into an inner Earth base or something in that region.
Have you
So
heard
yeah,
about
there's a lot.
pardon me, have you guys heard about the theory of the floating islands?
No, tell us about that.
So I was watching a video today about two incidences where two witnesses. Well, there's one particular island that they mentioned in the video that it's basically a circle, and they claim that it's a portal to an extraterrestrial, underground base.
Hmm.
And the actual cave or circle is like it's an island. It has a ring of water around it, and it's separate from the land, but it moves in a circular motion, so it just
Hmm.
continues to rotate. And then there was another gentleman that was whitewater rafting, and he spotted an island just literally surfing over the top of the water.
Wow.
Yeah, small piece of island. And he was questioning it and said, and of course, many people in the comment responded, what the heck's going on here? Why is this island moving? And typically, islands don't move. And
No, they don't.
again, the question was there something more going on? Was there something being hidden? Just like the clouds, when we look at
Yeah.
the clouds and we see clouds traveling and we're not really sure if there's something going on. So all of this is in question. It comes up in many different, I find that it comes up in so many different facets on our planet.
Mm.
I just love that we keep asking the questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd love to find more. I'd love to try to see if Paul Wallace, I don't know if he's on TikTok, but I sure would love to see him come in the room.
Yeah, you should try to seek it out and see if he's on here. Send him an invite to join us, Paul Wallace. I'd love to hear those stories. That would be kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, he busts through the ancestral narratives.
Yeah.
And and kind of like, and he looks for insights on the human origin and human potential. And I really just love that.
Mm. Yeah.
Again,
No.
we've been just told lies. We've been taught like, everything in school. And I wished I would have paid attention that these kinds of things were being taught at school,
Yeah.
when I was in school.
If we had teachers that knew this stuff back when we were kids and taught us about space in the way of, well, this is where you potentially came from another planet. You're human, but let me tell you about where you might have come from. Any questions? So, you have the kids in the room, the teacher, you're the hypothetical teacher, Grace, and you're teaching kids about where they came from off planet. So that would be kind of extraordinary to have that dynamics in school. It'd be great if the universities and colleges and high schools had classes about where do you come from, and
Yeah,
then
I mean,
it'd be
anthropology,
it'd be
right?
a, it'd be,
Imagine
it
learning
would be
Yeah,
like
it
a
could be part of the humanities program.
it'd be a
Yeah, I mean,
mandatory class.
imagine learning about other civilizations. Like, I think we touched on it in social studies back in the day,
Hmm.
but imagine like getting into the hardcore nitty-gritty of,
Yeah. See.
philosophy, anthropology. We maybe touched on the dinosaurs, but I barely remember us talking about much of that.
Mm. They could have a class, like I said, on ET 101, and that class would be mandatory for every high school and freshman year in a college or university. Various colleges and universities would offer the class. I bet you there'd be enough students in their freshman year that would take those classes to say, ET 101, what's that? And they tell
That'd
you,
be
oh,
great.
yeah, you're going to be in a class where you're going to learn that you didn't come from planet Earth and you're from another planet. That would be a great kind of focus in the narrative of, or, the things we talk about here on the show. That would be kind of cool to see that happen.
Yeah, but
Teachers would get locked up.
you got to be careful because these days the teacher will walk into class. All right, kids, we've got a special guest today. This is
Or,
Ralph, and he says he's from the planet Uranus.
or they say we have a special guest today, and there actually is a being from the Orion star system that walks in with a spacesuit on and does some things in the classroom, like boys and girls. I want to show you how to levitate things in the room. The person takes his hand and makes some movements and starts making the pencils go up in the air, or the teacher's apple goes up in the air at the desk.
That sounds
Now
like
that would be kind
Harry
of cool. The
Potter.
levitating of the apple by the space being. The space being says, "Here I am. I'm just wearing a regular Earth clothing, a pair of jeans and everything. But if I took my pants off and my shirt off, I have a spacesuit on underneath me that's purple, and it's
You know,
purple and it radiates purple.
all
But I'm not
joking
doing that to
aside,
bring too much
it,
attention to the class."
right. All joking aside, though, the schools these days should have classes, and maybe not ET 101, but classes that teach about the chakras and vibrations and alignment and, the power of positivity and
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there should definitely be a progressive stance on, and I'm sure there are teachers just quietly in some places around the world that do have classes about cosmic enlightenment or UFOs or, life elsewhere. I don't think it's all over the place, but there's got to be, whether it's in Europe, Scandinavia, the United States, Canada, wherever, Africa, there's got to be some teachers that are doing this kind of stuff, We just don't hear about it.
Maybe
Yeah, I
we could start
agree.
our own private school.
Yeah, and
Yes.
not for nothing, but you can actually write a course and then propose the course to, a college. And you just never know. My sister is a professor and she wrote a course on hybrid technology and
Oh,
Interesting.
wow.
she now teaches it at a college, SUNY University College. And, these are topics that were taboo in the day.
Yeah.
Sure.
And things aren't taboo anymore, of course. We're more involved in 30 years later. The whole subject is more out there. People are more acceptable to these discussions. Right, 30 years ago, we couldn't sit in a room like this on TV and talk about this in a very open way. Now, the pendulum has swung the other way. We're now able to speak about these things, talk about these things, and express our understandings with each other. And people are coming out of the closet, like CC, our guest. Her connections, she's going to try to do some meditation and get telepathic communications with the space people. And whenever we talk to CC, I've learned to know her much more since she was on this morning. Energetically, she is at that high frequency or a vibration that the Pleiadians can communicate with her. And that's why it's so easy for them to communicate with her. And she's going to learn how to, in that park in Florida, learn how to make telepathic communications with them and understand and get the messages from them. Because you'll be a messenger, CC. In a sense, you're going to be one of their messengers on Earth. So you're going to receive the communications. And as I'm sitting here for the night so far, that's what I'm getting about you, is that you're going to be bringing messages from them telepathically.
I gotta spread the message.
Yeah, you're going to spread the message.
You got to
That's right.
get the message first.
Sure,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Right.
And you will.
Turn
You'll get the
on
message.
Turn on that antenna. It'll happen. It'll happen in your time, CC.
Yeah, it will.
Well, my dad instilled ESP in me. So I've always.
Your dad is doing what now?
My dad instilled ESP in me, extra sensitive perception.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So
Interesting.
I don't know.
Was your dad spiritual or was he in the military?
He was never in the military. He's
He's
kind
just
of a
spiritual?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He collects
Yeah.
crystals. He got me into crystals when I was younger.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a connection to the stars too, your dad.
Yeah.
If he's into crystals.
So, someone in the chat mentioned to Google great educational invention, and then it comes up. What comes up for that is 3D printers are already causing ripples in the education sector, and students are loving them. Content that was previously taught via textbooks can now be expressed through 3D models. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the way society and life has adapted over the past 100 years, and you look at a classroom over the past 100 years, it hasn't really changed much.
I know it.
I mean, they have.
And I just invited Enlightened Jess to come on the show. She has the little ET face there. Enlightened Jess. I have a commander on YouTube. Can't find the correct Facebook or radio channel.
Is going
So come on.
has
As they say on the
volunteered.
game show, come on down. Enlightened Jess, come on the show.
All right, Enlightened Jess, you're the next contestant on Encounters. Come on down.
That's right. I feel like we're on a game show here.
Wait, Indigo was going to say something. What were you going to say, Indigo?
Indigo.
Have you guys ever heard of Bashar?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Bashar.
I had lunch with B the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have lunch on occasion.
Bashar
Joking.
is communicated with. You ever heard of Daryl Anka Indigo? What happened to everyone? Just kind of the whole screen just blinked for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's through
everything's
channel.
fine on my end.
That
Yeah,
was
we
weird.
didn't see
Who's
him.
that standing behind you?
We have Enlightened Jess here. Enlightened Jess, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
Commander, wait,
thank
before you
you.
start
Oh,
talking
that's
to this
cool.
woman, I want you to know that she has volunteered her fertility to meld with a hybrid species of ET. So she
What?
is the definition of taking one for the team.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
I
wait,
thought,
I want to hear what Indigo was saying about Bashar. Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
Indigo. And
And
then
then
we
we'll
get
get
into
to Jess.
Enlightened.
Sorry.
Indigo, have you heard of Daryl Anka?
Yeah, he's who channels Bashar.
Yeah, he actually is a telepathic communicator more than a channel. His information is pretty accurate. So tell us about that, what you know about Bashar, and then we're going to have Enlightened Jess share some information.
Well, he's a entity that is basically Daryl Anka in the future. It's like his future reincarnation as a half gray alien, half human hybrid that lives on a planet called Esasani. And he's here to have this communication with Bashar to enlighten the human, to raise consciousness on Earth and to, I guess, help humanity.
Yeah. And basically, I've seen drawings of the S Society. They look very much like us. And they've evolved in, someone's got some noise going on there. They've evolved very much like us. And you're right. So I usually will refer to the S Society sometimes regarding where's that noise coming from? Okay. So I'll refer to them, a lot in terms of what's happening in the next few years. Bashar was asked a question about contact, and that's coming in well, I think it's going to come before 2027, but I've got confirmation, and I'm shy our DoD contact has stated that the government, the people within the sector that watch space, know that there's something coming to our planet in 2027. Who's got the scratchy noise going on here?
Hey,
Not
Jess, can
sure.
you put mute on for 1 second?
Oh, there you go. So
Thank you.
that's what's happening. We're going to invite also Enlightened on here. Welcome Enlightened to the show. And so I was going back to about, you were asking about the radio show, but I think there's things about yourself. You also have some stories to tell, Enlightened. So come back in there. You can turn the
all right.
camera on. There you go.
Okay.
Welcome to the
When
show.
it makes me, when I mute, it does that. And see, I live above a prize fishing pond, and they're having a tournament tonight, so
Oh,
it kind
that's
of
fun.
doesn't.
Okay.
If I need to,
I
I'll
got
scurry
you.
away. But no, I'm in the foothills of North Carolina right here, right at the very foot of Blowing Rock and
Okay.
Asheville. And see that one plant that they was talking about, we've talked about a few times, where the search place, they are trying to buy all of our land and ours right now to put more buildings and towers on. They bought a lot of everybody's land up to where we're at and have been making offers, and we just keep being like, nope, nope. It's huge, huge. And you thought it would have been, they was trying to be discreet, but it's not at all. And
Do you
Yeah.
think they're
underneath,
trying to buy the land to get into the mountain or just to
yes,
expand the facility? I think it has
expand
something to do
and
with
get
the
into the
mountain.
mountain. Because underneath it, I thought about one day during the day, we're going through there and recording as I drive by, because it's very, very, to even get in, you got to sign an NDA. You got to go through 3 security gates, a lot. But underneath it, you can tell just driving by, there's 2 or 3 floors under. And as this has been built for the past 2 years, it's just unbelievable. and we see it, we drive by it, and like I'm really aware of things that's going on and like looking and seeing. I can't even fly a drone on our own private land.
Really?
And
They have they have an FAA block on your
oh
property?
yes, and if we go up more than like I think it's 4
30
miles,
feet.
or yeah,
Oh,
something. Yeah, it might be feet because I'm really bad at that ordeal. It's so far up. If we go up, oh, we can get fined hugely, and it can get shot down
Really?
because they have them, and I could barely hear them, and it's like a, I mean, it's just real light
Yeah.
because they look at this property, which is on 16 acres, and then
Yeah.
down below me is a big prize pond where they do tournament fishing. And they've been looking because this point of the area behind me is a hill that they can put a tower on that would get tons, you know. And even for us here, we like, you know, have our cameras and stuff up, and we was like, well, what are we to do now? What are we having to watch for? Because we watch for deer, wildlife,
Yeah.
stuff all the time, and we keep a monitor on our land. And they was like, as long as, you know, we don't go so far up, and I'll find out the specifics on that. It was so far up, and as long as we do not go in that direction, if we even look like we're trying to survey that, we get in so much trouble and fined.
I mean,
And
going
it's
towards
just,
their base.
so wait, do they
yeah,
have active surveillance, like cameras looking at your property?
all over, all over. In the winter,
Do you
I would
ever?
be able to turn this around, and you see to where it's at. And right now, things are getting ready to fall, but about a month, I'll be able to walk and show you guys. And I planned on it. Planned
Yeah.
on, you know, going out and showing, and you just won't believe it. It's just
Why don't we?
Yeah.
Why don't
so
we
much
set
to take
that
in.
up?
I will.
Yeah.
I'll set
Let's
it up.
do that.
I will.
Let me understand this. This is a military installation, correct?
No,
Military?
it's a GOOGLE plant.
Uh,
Big,
Google.
huge facility.
This is a Google facility?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting. That's kind of weird.
And things, I've tested a few things. Just this morning, I had everything in the house silent. And I had my dog down at the foot of the recliner there, and I was thinking, I'm gonna
Hmm.
test a few things. And I said a few keywords. And I kid you not, on my tablet, on my PC, and on my cell phone, those words that I said came up. I said random words. And my daughter, she's 18, and I talk open with them. I said, I want you to look at this. I said this in private today. And I
Hmm.
said, it was something random. Fireworks, something else. I don't remember what else it was, but it all popped
Now,
up.
now,
And I,
Google do they have, like you said, they can shoot things down. When does a company like a Google, have that kind of power where they have people with guns that shoot down things that shouldn't be there?
that's my curious. I watch a lot, and if there's something up there, they're on it right off the bat.
Yeah, that's
There's
crazy.
a power plant like place also that's right beside of it, and that looks like it would power the whole town.
Hmm.
The place with the I guess you call it the PC motherboards.
Yeah.
That room is supposed to be huge, just like bigger 3-4 times my house,
Hmm.
and just that, and it's very very suspicious. It's very very suspicious.
Hmm.
I've had people go in, and you got to sign an NDA before you walk in there, before you even get through the first gate, and then there's
Wow.
2 more gates you got to get through. A lot of things, flashlights, not your regular ones. These things are real, and they ain't just flashlights. They're straight lasers.
Wow.
It's wild, and there's so much. When it's daylight, I'll get with you guys and take a little road
Yeah.
trip.
Well, let's
Because it
bring
only
on.
literally 3 minutes.
Stay with us. We're going to bring our DoD top secret agent, Shai, here. She's on with us. She's been traveling and busy. And
Secrets,
Shai, good evening.
agent
Welcome.
woman. Secrets, agent woman. We got to get her a theme song.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
do that.
How are y'all doing?
Good. How you doing? I'm Shai.
I'm good. I'm just tired, you know. I got
Yeah.
a couple days off. I just
Oh,
got
good.
back this
Wow.
morning. Yeah.
So I've been sensing for days that you have some cosmic information.
Um,
I'm good
I
that way.
didn't tell him anything. I didn't even mention it.
Didn't say a word. You know how I am. I'm sure I read people's energy.
well, I was down in New Mexico at some pretty cool places, and I'm probably not gonna. I wasn't really planning on talking about it here. I was just seeing how everybody was, but I was there for a couple days, and I was at White Sands Missile Range,
Yeah,
and I
that White Sands is the history of where contacts were made in the 60s with the space people.
yeah, another place that I'm not gonna name just yet, but it was a pretty interesting trip. I gave a couple seminars and stuff, and saw some pretty interesting things, but I don't think I can really discuss that in depth right now. I still gotta get through a
What are
little
you
bit of it
giving a
myself.
seminar on?
Yeah,
Oh, new Doppler radar and our new radar. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
interesting. Oh, wow. Very interesting. Now, on the cosmic side of you, what things are happening that are being watched with our UAPs or UFOs or whatever you want to call them these days, depending
You
who
mean
you are?
what we've seen of in our airspace?
Yeah,
You know, I haven't been at that side of things for a little while. I've been just going places because the way
yeah.
it works is I was going to have to do this inevitably, and it was going to be either now or December or after December, and so I I just decided to do it or get it knocked out all at once.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so but I'm actually going to be back in the office this next week. So
Oh, good. Then you'll be able to concentrate on space.
yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Shai, can I ask you, with all of this stuff going on in Israel, do they derail your course of action for the day or the week and say, "Oh, hey, we
Yeah,
got this incident going
Hmm.
on. Let's have a little briefing first."
yeah, that's true, 100%. Actually, this is pretty touchy, but I guess because it's actually happening. But a day before, I got briefed, and I got called into a skiff, and I was at the command line or whatever. And yeah, they knew they. That's the boring stuff, but they knew exactly how they were going to do it, how they got the paramotors, how they got the munitions. Some of the munitions were ours, and we'd even warned Israel. It was really weird. Not only us, Egypt had somebody else. I don't know who it is. I'll figure that out and I'll let you know. But a couple other intelligence apparatuses had told them exactly how they were going to attack and stuff. So
Hmm.
what they ended up doing is, like, you know, a mile down from that music festival, they had checkpoints set up with actual like munition setups. Because they knew. I mean, no better way to put it than that. They knew that
Hmm.
was going to happen. And I was like, and they still let it happen anyways. Like, we watched it live, and we had
Well,
known
I
that
was
they
going
had
to say,
known.
yeah.
We had
Do you
watched it.
think Israel let it
Yo, I'm
happen
trying.
for reasons?
Well, I've got my own opinions on that, but I think I don't know how else you could explain that. I suppose.
Now, I have a theory, and let me see. I also have a question. There's been a video I saw somewhere that was from Israel. It was in nighttime. Three orbs appeared over the area in the sky somewhere, and it was during the conflict when it started or something. Have you had any intel regarding UAP stuff going on over there during the war right now?
Yeah, not the instance that you're talking about, but actually the night of, we had some amber orbs almost
Yes,
that were
I saw
above the
them.
Gaza Strip. They were above the Gaza Strip. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe
The
send me the
Gaza,
video,
yeah.
but it was above the Gaza Strip, and they had hovered in a triangular formation, and then they had gone out to like a three, like 180 line almost of like three dots. It was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
that's like normal. Whenever there's an altercation, at least you're gonna see something.
Yeah, what do you think? My thing is going back to the 60s when we were in the Cold War, the ships, the UFOs or the space people would shut down the electronic facilities. Remember you talked about the Diamond formations that were going in 2.3 seconds, and they were shutting down things. Do you see what's going on with these wars? It seems to attract the attention of, let's say, the space people on board these UAPs. I call them spaceships, whatever they are. And you think they're concerned with these wars that are happening? I would assume so.
100%. But they've been present. We have we have heavy documentation on a lot of the major conflicts, and even the Gulf War, which my father. Anyway, that's besides. I knew some people that were in places in a militaristic sense that I'm related to, I suppose, and I guess they kind of got me into this. But yeah, they'd even reported stuff even then. I mean, I've seen some stuff even from family members in terms of documentation. I actually work with one, but yeah, they all have the same kind of encounters, but it's always something different. It's not like it's very hard to find an isolated incident, and you can see them multiple times, right? One of the times you see it again, which I think this is common knowledge. I don't know how good the disinformation campaign goes, but the TR-3B is an absolute thing. I mean, the X-37 space plane, even another iteration of the Blackbird, right? So, all these things are definitely seen, 100%. I've seen photos of them online. But whatever good photo comes out, you get 5 shittier ones that are sorry, I did not mean to say language. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Five worse ones, 5 worse ones that are not of the best quality in order to act as a debunk. And that's just there's propaganda machines. They're not really called that in a specific sense. Their names will vary, but it'll be something around public affairs or not, or this intricate program that is under that department.
Do you think, I'm shy, that if this war escalates and so many human lives have been lost in general, regardless of what people call a country, and I can't perceive to think, nor I don't know that you can either, obviously, but my thing is, if this were to get really in a situation where it just got out of control, instead of observing, do you think the space beings on these craft that are observing would intervene and try to stop the killing?
Only if Iran gets involved.
I feel like that would have to be a super mass casualty event, of the scale that it would affect the entire planet. Just because of the fact that I've never seen any intervention before. I've seen interaction, but that's not necessarily the same thing. Technically that's not true. They have intervened. Usually not in an armed conflict. Well, I take that back. There's a couple instances of them intervening in armed conflicts, so I suppose. Disabling technology, jamming, stuff like that.
Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah.
Are the people in the military over in Israel or the Air Force aware of the UAPs that are being there? I mean, they must have the apparatus, just like the DoD here in this country, to observe unknown craft in the airspace.
Well, let me reiterate one thing. No one can do what we do, in any sense. But they are, their intelligence apparatus is pretty built up. But to my knowledge, I would not have really, other than the big three, which that being the United States, Russia, and China, I wouldn't know of anybody, or maybe Canada I could add on that list. A couple other people know, but I wouldn't be able to say deductively, conclusively that they do. I assume they do. Because they have, they have drones. They have stuff, so.
Yeah. Hey, Shy, I got a weird question to ask.
In Israel, but go ahead, James.
Hey, Shy. So back in, let's go back to Iraqi freedom and Afghanistan and all that. Have you ever heard of instances where the government was abducting soldiers, or maybe faking encounters with soldiers, abduction or any type of encounters like that?
I know of interactions. I don't know if it's necessarily. I wouldn't be able to say. The only thing I know conclusively, and that's not saying that again. I don't know everything, so that's something you have to keep in mind. I just know the bit that I know. All I know is the civilian populace targeting, but I definitely don't doubt that they could do it in that sense too, especially if they're near maybe a site that's used for testing these kind of things.
Right. I bring it up because I was, talking to that guy Almighty, and even though he kind of went off the rails the first time we talked to him, he really calmed down after that, and got to hear more of the story, and after hearing more and really finding some, authenticities in his story and logic, I'm almost like convinced that maybe this guy did have some type of interaction. He's talking about it and now getting messed with. Poor guy.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, especially that was really unfortunate hearing like his targeting. I actually told him next time we talk, I want to do it on here, just so because like I recommend a job in the government to everybody. I know that's kind of crazy to say, but I mean, just benefits wise, I think it's a good career
Hey,
choice.
I'll come work for the government. Do they need somebody
James can go. James can be in the
to
DoD
do
in
some
the
positive?
UAP sector.
Yeah,
They don't want me because I'm all about accountability.
yeah, they don't like that.
I have a story.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, go ahead.
This happened about 25 years ago. A friend of my dad's. Hold on, let me look at my notes. I'm shy too. It was, yeah, a friend of my dad's. He was in the Air Force, and he worked on planes, and like before he, I can't read my notes. Before he was deployed, he had a baby, and the baby's about 3 months old, and I'm not sure what happened, but apparently he wandered too far somewhere he wasn't supposed to go, and his memory was erased. He didn't remember that he had a child 6 months earlier. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait. What? Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah.
All right. Let me calm down. Yeah, this is about 25 years ago. A friend of my dad's, he was in the Air Force, and he worked on planes. And about 3 months before he was deployed, he had a baby. And when he got back, he didn't remember that he had a child. And you don't forget
Really?
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Did
kind of
he
weird.
did he
Yeah.
have an encounter, or did he see
He,
something?
I think he seen something he wasn't supposed
Was
to
he at
see.
war? Did he have trauma?
I have no idea.
Did he see something
I
not
think
of
he
this
just went
world?
somewhere too far where he wasn't supposed to. Yeah, I think he just seen something, and
Yeah.
they erased his memory, but they went a little too
Oh,
far
yeah.
back.
Wow. And who do you think erased the memories? Our own government, less sector of our government?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a department that
Shai,
handles that.
do you know anything about memory erasing projects?
I wouldn't know that, no. But I mean, seems like something they could do. I mean,
But
would he be
ETs,
what was
Well,
he
maybe it
near
was the aliens. Maybe it was, government being involved with some aliens, and they did the erasing. You never know.
like a military installation at all, or
I
like
don't
a
know.
thing weird?
I just know he worked on I just know he worked on planes in the Air Force. That's all I can tell you.
I got you.
I'm worried about that too, about being your memory erased about anything. That's one thing I've wondered. If you like tapped into
Jess,
something you
they're
wasn't
not gonna
supposed
mess with
to.
you.
I hope not.
yeah, I don't,
I try to stay
I've heard
away.
of it in abductions where historically over the decades, I've heard stories of people being taken by Zeta and they'll come back and they won't remember anything. I mean, I've read stories about that over the number of years. So I really don't know much about that and how that happens or who's doing it or, hard to say.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy though.
Yeah. I'm sure it is still happening, but I have no information on that part of it.
Yeah, I definitely believe they've been messing with people's memories and deleting them. And have you guys ever heard about the 25 and back
The
thing?
25 what now?
the 25 and back, where
No.
people sign up for. It's like basically you do like a 25-year term, and then at the end of the term, they they put you back into where you started the term at. Like they age regress you, they regrow your body of what age you were when you went in, and then they put your consciousness into that body, and then they basically they erase everything and you start life right back where you started, because
Well, sign me up.
it's like a time travel thing where you go and serve 25 years, and then you go right back to the point where you started, when you joined, so you don't lose any time, but you serve. You never heard of that?
No. That's one of
No,
the
I've
things
never
I've
heard of
never.
that, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you see what happened with those people on the Challenger space shuttle thing. Do you know about that, Commander?
I've never heard of that before, and I've heard of a lot of
Ooh,
things.
there's a conspiracy theory about the Challenger space shuttle that after that unfortunate event, that these doppelgangers of the crew that was on the Challenger ship have been found in public areas with similar names, and they look exactly the same.
Wow. I never heard of that. I can't say I have. That's interesting.
I'm talking about
The
people
funny
from
thing
what?
is, in my conscious reality, I'm in such a different state of consciousness, I never even see those things or know of those things.
Well, I live in the rabbit
Interesting.
hole, Commander.
Well, you can go into the inner earth, James, because you're in the rabbit hole. You have to just dig a little bit deeper.
I think, listen, that's probably why my encounters aren't with ETs, and my encounters are, I've always said that. That's why I have Earth encounters.
But on the earth
Bigfoots
encounters,
and
James, if you
fairies.
go digging deeper, if you were able to go as far as going into a cave into the inner earth, you would find your cosmic family is down there.
I believe it.
No, seriously.
I'm going. I'm down. I'm gonna take Jess, and we're gonna start a whole group of them.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Shia,
They're
you can come too.
Tass
they're
says,
in the Appalachians.
Thank you.
I heard they are not doppelgangers, they're interdimensional travelers.
Oh, the people from the Challenger flight. That's an interesting theory.
Yep. So, there's many different theories, I guess. I don't know much about that part of it, but it's interesting to and to look at that. It's about 1:15 in the morning. I love the conversation we're all having. We're going to be on tomorrow night. I want to let people have their last words for the evening. I'm going to go off planet, and I'll be back. I want to thank all the people for their gifting. We now have 30 to 100 subscribers. Once we raise enough money for our C5 group in New England here, we'll be able to purchase new equipment, and that will be used in our group here. Grace is part of our group, so we appreciate everybody here. I want to let I'm shy. I'm going to let I'm shy go first. Then we're going to have CC. Then we're going to have Enlightened, and then Indigo, then my co-host down the rabbit hole, and last but not least, Grace. I thank you, Sharon, everybody, Kit Kat, everybody that's been gifting, all our new subscribers, and we're going to pass the gauntlet around here. So let's begin. Last minute final words, everybody.
Thank you for having me on. Thanks again, everybody, for being so kind, as usual. And make sure to always look at the sky, for your own, make it a hobby, look at things. It's always good to be explorative. All right, that's all I gotta say. Bye, y'all.
Okay, have a good few days off. I'm sure I get some rest, and I'll be glad when you get back on to the control board where you can watch the UAPs and give us more information on the space people. Enlightened, we'll have you go, I guess, or CC, is it? CC, and then Enlightened, Indigo, and then we'll get to Down the Rabbit Hole and Grace.
Well, I didn't actually even get to talk about any of my encounters, but maybe next time.
Yeah, what happened with that?
But I
You know, I,
appreciate.
I thought we were going to do that
You know,
earlier when
we
you
get a
come
little
on.
distracted.
You know,
Well, I
tell
have
us
a
about.
lot. I could share one, maybe, or.
Yeah, share a story about one of your encounters. That was what we were going to get into. We never did.
Well, I'll start with my first one that I have written down that happened September 1st of 2021.
Okay.
It says, I saw something again. Oh, maybe that's not my first note. Well, shoot. Anyway, okay, it says, I saw something again about 5:30 a.m. this morning, flying across the entire horizon, going in and out about 4 times and then disappearing. I have a lot of notes, but
Wow. You know, that's interesting. Yeah, so what she's talking about, yeah, thank you, Late Freight. She's documented all her sightings, her encounters
not
with the
all, but the
physical
ones that are
space.
most exciting.
Yeah, one of her sightings. So we'll get more into that the next time. I want to hear about more of your encounters you've documented, and that's one of them. So thank you, CC. I thank you for being on here. I want to switch it over to
Thanks.
Enlightened in North Carolina. CC's in Florida. And then we'll go to Indigo, and then we'll hit it over to our co-host and also Grace, our spiritual advisor on encounters. And again, thank you everybody for being here. Okay, there you go, Enlightened. It's you're
All
at
right.
the front of the screen here.
Okay. Is it okay? Is it too
Yeah,
close?
no, you're good. What's
Okay.
your final words of wisdom tonight? And we appreciate you coming on.
Kind of like Sky said, she gives great advice. I love it all the time. Each one of y'all that always contribute to encounters with Commander and everybody. There's so much, and we always never have enough time. There is so much. There's more that I want to tell you and show you that goes on in these neck of woods
Okay,
and
have to hear that.
the skies. And I'm out here now, and I'll be out here for a long time. I like to come out and stay till almost daylight, and I can tell the difference between stuff, or like if it's the space station and things like that. I've gotten used to seeing them. And, you know, when I was a young child, I used to be fascinated by it and watch them and seeing things. I don't know what visited me, what it was, but my parents know about it. And when it came, it did. And it had I can't even, like to describe it. The only thing I could even describe it to that I have seen pictures of was like, you know, they say like a Palladian, or I think it's those, but the ones with the really long white blondish hair, but mostly white.
Yeah.
But it was a male figure. He had a very much glowing white light around him. I didn't feel any threat, but he had his hand out to me. It was at the end of my bed. I was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And my instinct, I sensed him and peeked up and looked. And out of fear, I'd hollered. I started screaming. And I wish I would have interacted differently, because the way I interacted was fear. And that was just the initial reaction. But since then, I've not been able to have that type again. I've came close, but it's not ever been right there again. So I mean, I know I blew it that time, but I've even spoke out to welcome them in to talk or whatever. But I think each one of y'all, I'd like to, if you, I'll be in here in the room tomorrow.
Okay.
And I've got a whole long playlist on YouTube of all the shows, because if I miss them, I go back and I'll go back and
Yeah, we
re-listen,
put them
because
on there
there's
because
so
I know
much,
people miss them. Yeah.
and there's so much to take in, and collaborate it all, put the whole piece of the puzzle together, and try to understand other people's things and hope that we get more clarity and grow, and tell you what I've got going on in here. But thank you for having me. And
Always, Elaine. Thank you
I'll
for
jump
being here in
down to
North
chat.
Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right here at
very
the
interesting.
Appalachians, and it's something else.
Thank
It
Yeah,
you.
it
is.
is.
Thank you for offering your ovaries for the expansion of ET hybrid
Hybrid
projects.
babies. Yes, the hybrid babies. Hey, I'm
Hybrid
40,
babies.
but it doesn't matter, I don't think. I hope not.
No,
I mean, I'm healthy, very healthy.
there you go.
And I think that's what matters. But I don't know, just trying to, be present and aware.
Yep.
And share the stories with everybody, and also try to stay protected at the same time, because a lot of
You
times the
got to,
things
yeah.
that like I spelled that out, I probably could say it, which would be fine, but there's certain things that I hate having to use code words, but of course we have to in some situations. But there's things, here, and it's just, and I can't believe it even moved so close to me, because I've lived here all my life and traveled, but always, come here. And just all this stuff that's been going on here and in the sky. There was
Yeah.
a helicopter that had the 2 propellers that almost hit my house last week. I thought it was coming in. I mean, it was right over. I mean, it shook things off the wall.
Wow,
And
was it a military helicopter?
that's what I'm thinking, because when I flew to the front door and peeked off the porch here, they were so close, and they had the door open. You could see the guy sitting there, and he definitely had armor with him. And I was like,
Oh
what in the
my
world?
gosh! All for
See,
Google?
that's what I wondered. They're also a base over here. And we have a small airport. So it was either going to that army base, and that is tucked back in beside a high school. And it's not far from here. So I wondered if it was connected to those two things, but it was right here. So it either went there or there, because that place has got a very good access to something landing there. I can't wait to show you that building and underneath it. It's just,
Yeah.
I can't even describe
I
it.
definitely think, next show we want to see that go live and show us some stuff,
Yeah,
That
and even
sounds
if
like
it's
a military helicopter.
yeah, and I really thought it was gonna hit the house. It took my everything was like, whoa! I was bracing for it, but it was just that close. It was all that echo was just pounding the house.
That's crazy.
But it scared me, but it went on its way. But I sit out here and I watch and wait and do a lot of meditation and stuff, and I'll share my stuff with you guys.
I had
I'm on
one
this
fly
thank
one.
you.
really over my house yesterday.
Wow.
You had a helicopter over your house, CC?
An airplane flew real low right over my house yesterday. I've
A
never
regular
really seen them fly that low.
regular airplane?
Yeah. It might have been military. No, I think it was regular.
Okay, regular. Okay,
It didn't.
interesting.
That was weird.
This one I
All
had
right.
was a
Well,
double chopper. It was
yeah,
Okay.
it
that
was
was
a
definitely
Military.
sounding military in
Yeah.
North Carolina. Well,
Indigo.
Layton and Cece, we want to thank you both for being here. We'll turn it over to Indigo, and then we're going to go to James and then Grace, and then we're going to go to sleep, I think, and get our energy up for tomorrow morning for the farmers market.
Thank you guys so much. I cherish each one of you. I really do.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you so much, too. Thank you.
And I'll hop down to chat and see you guys
All right.
tomorrow.
Just
There
don't
you go.
hop in the rabbit hole.
Hey, every night. Bye.
All right. And Indigo, thanks for being here and coming on for the first time with our show. What's your last cosmic words of wisdom?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I would just like everybody to, if you guys like knowledge and wisdom, to check out the video I have of the blonde woman that is channeling these beings called the designers. and there's a lot of knowledge and information in there that I think every human being needs to see.
Yeah. Hey, well, thanks for being here.
And that's on your page.
Yeah, there should be 2 parts. It's the one with the
Cool.
blonde hair woman.
All right, I'll check it
The
out.
crystal skull.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we're going to let these two guys go. Let me just do this here. And we're going to thank you very much. And now we're going to go
And
to,
then there were 3.
yes. And James, what's
I'm
your
gonna
final
make
words
it.
of wisdom?
I have very quick final words to let you go to bed. Everybody, just have a great weekend. Get out there, be social, spread love and light, and remember the age-old guidance that was once said: "He who go to bed with itchy butt, wake up with stinky finger." Good night.
Good night, James.
Good night.
Good night, Grace. I was just doing a little bit of funny eye stuff here on the
That
screen.
is
Take
cute.
care, everybody. We love you
Funny.
all. We'll catch you all. Have a good weekend, all right? This has been Encounters. Good night. Thank you all for the gifts.
Everybody find joy in each day.
Yep. Have a cup of tea or coffee. I'm hoping we're going to go out for breakfast tomorrow. So peace, love, and light, everybody.
Great.
Take care.
Take
Thanks
care.
for the gifts,
Good
everybody.
night.